Good morning, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon definitely to you, Abhay, but also good evening for those that are joining or listening in the evening. Thank you very much for joining this sixth episode of the Business Central ISV podcast. Again, thank you very much, Abhay, for joining. I'm going to say SmartBOL, although the BOL is written in capitals, and it's really, I should almost say SmartBOL. Let's start here, Abhay. Please introduce yourself and your company. And thank you
Sure,
again for joining this call.
no problem. Thank you very much, Ingmar, for giving us this opportunity to present or to talk to you about how we work with Microsoft and how our experience and interactions have been. And as for the company name, you can use SmartBOL or SmartBOL because it rhymes with Super Bowl. We really like that, that SmartBOL name, and so and the primary focus of our company is to digitize the documentation in the warehouse and distribution operations. So that would be anything that you interact with your drivers or your receivers, whoever is receiving everything in paper. Our main focus is to eliminate that paper, eliminate the manual processes, and add automation as much as possible. And given the focus on carbon neutral sustainability, this helps a lot to a lot of companies because we reduce huge amount of paper from the process, leave alone the inefficiencies and the labor and the printing
Definitely.
costs and all of that. So it's a process that pays for itself, as far as we are concerned. From the customer's point of view, it's a huge ROI, and it's something that's the distribution world has to get into anyways, because now paper is getting eliminated from everywhere as much as possible.
Yeah. And what's your role within
So,
Smart?
so yeah, so I'm the founder of the company, and I'm the main architect of the product. So anything that doesn't work is thanks to me. And most of the times, whatever that works, nobody tells you that. But I'm so always looking for different opportunities or different avenues where we can expand and add more value to the customers. And Microsoft has been, especially Azure, has been putting out a lot of new features that, along with Dynamics 365 Business Central, we're trying to present that to the Dynamics 365 world uh, in the scope of distribution.
Clear. So, just for my understanding and for the audience understanding, so you've built your solution on Azure, and you have now integrated it also with Dynamics 365. And I think more specifically, is it only Business Central or Business Central and maybe also another solution within the Dynamics family?
Yes, so we actually, to give some history of SmartBOL, we started 20 years back, and ever since we have been Microsoft ISV partner. So that time it was all Windows client server, and our technology was always been Microsoft development technology. So we use Visual Basic right in the beginning. Now
Okay.
we are on to .NET. But it's the same. For us, the migration was pretty smooth because it's the same kind of structure. Of course, client server is completely different than what you have now in the web realm, but that's still the Microsoft technologies that we work, and we deploy in Azure as well as other competing clouds. It's for Dynamic 365, we have a built-in extension for Business Central that
Okay.
directly integrates with our application, so the Dynamic 365 customers don't have to necessarily build something of their own. We also work with partners that can enhance that extension and add more functionality for the customers.
Oh, so that's interesting. I didn't know about that, Abe. So you're saying you have your solution or solutions.
Right.
You sell maybe through partners, or you can sell through other partners, or are you saying that partners can also enhance the Smart Bull solution itself?
Yeah, all of the above. They can buy it from us, they can buy it from partners, or they can buy it from partner as by adding more functionality or more enhancements into because we look at Dynamic 365 Business Central as well as Finance and SCM as the source of information.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many companies out there, ISVs and partners. They are much more smarter than us in that space. So there are specific areas they are expert in. We let them do what they are good at, and then work with us, and that way the customer gets best of both sides.
Clear. And again, just from my understanding, are you only integrating with Dynamics, or are there also other ERP vendors with whom you're working?
Yes, so we work with Dynamics Business Central, Finance, and SCM, of course. Then we also work with SAP, Oracle,
Okay.
EBS, and
Wow.
other companies. We are to a great extent we are agnostic. We run in our space,
Yeah.
and we give interfaces to different generic as well as specific interfaces to different so that
And
it can be
that-
enhanced.
yeah, and that makes it, well, again, from an outside look, Abhay, it makes it very interesting because that means that you're as well active in the enterprise markets with SAP, Oracle, potentially finance, but then also more in the corporate and small business space with Business Central and maybe others as well.
Right. So when we started, we actually started for small to medium businesses in 2004, 20 years back. And that time, one of the systems that we integrated a lot was Dynamics GP.
Yeah.
And using that was one of the most successful integrations we had, though we did not have very specific integration, just like the partners can enhance and do whatever they need to. It was so we have a Dynamics relationship for quite some time. uh, so there are two segments that we work with: enterprise, where SAP and Oracle and all the very large companies with huge distribution operation works, and then we have other segment which is more towards small to medium sized enterprises, which have Dynamics or similar ERPs in the
Mm-hmm,
mid market
mm-hmm.
area. So one of the things that we are also adding now in the next in coming months is the Power Automate functionality, so that companies can
Interesting.
have,
Yeah.
and the next enhancement, and or parallelly move the data into Fabric, so that
Really
customers can do
interesting.
the yeah. So our focus is more like doing what we are good at and pass the information to other companies that are good at something else.
Interesting. So if if you would have told me 20 years ago, like, hey, Mar, we're doing like making electronic notes. That's
Right, right.
I know I'm oversimplifying. If you would have told me like 20 years ago, like, hey, Mar, in 2024, this will still be like a top demand from enterprises, from corporate or mid-sized companies to small businesses, I would have said, come on. In 2024, everything will have been digitized. There will be no paper anymore. But what you are saying is like, Ingmar, there's still a huge or many processes, especially in the supply chain, transportation, distribution worlds, are being done on paper. And so our solution, BOL, Bill of Lading, is still in very high demand.
Yeah. So though we started with a paper bill of lading, now we are still doing this we are looking at it from the document point of view, but not a paper bill of lading point of view. So it's still a document, but we are thinking more of that as a PDF than on paper. So essentially, not just bills of lading, we do packing slips, we do expert documentation, we do any kind of things that you need in the distribution and supply chain. But we are trying to push that into all electronic PDF supply, so that it's not
And automated.
paper not used. Yeah, and automation, correct.
Great.
So rather than driver coming to you with all the information on paper, you already received it electronically before
Yeah.
the driver even arrived to you. That is one part. The second part is also the inbound documentation, which is a huge other paper, because the paper going out from the warehouses has to come at some other end in a paper form. So that's also another area we work in. But that's a you know a completely different and
So
large.
super interesting. You mentioned partners. I know Microsoft has a huge partner network within Dynamics, but also within Azure and all the other products that Microsoft distributes or sells. Can you share a bit on how what kind of partners you're working with, how you find those partners, and where you find those partners?
So from the main focus for us are the people who are integrating. So the companies that they already have implementation partners, or companies that are maintaining their Business Central or FNSCM, and those are the companies that we like to partner with, because they have the data and they know what data we need, or we can tell them what data. It's easy for them to just push it to us. Those are the primary focus for our partners. And we are on the app source on the Microsoft, and we also have a partner program and partner management. So we try to reach out to the partners through different means, and hope to recruit them.
And are your partners mainly in the US, or is it Northern America? What's your geo footprint?
So currently our focus has been North America only, mostly Canada and United States. We would like to get into Europe because there is a similar need and requirement. However, we are very US based, so we don't have much exposure or visibility into the partners in the European world, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't. But it's my interest to get into that market for sure.
To get active in Europe.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Clear. Now, something that always intrigues me is like Microsoft is creating a lot of innovation, or at least we think it's innovation. And yes, there is innovation, of course, happening. You mentioned Power Automate, part of the Power Platform family. There are many other innovations happening, not to mention the word Copilot.
Right.
How do you decide as an ISV the top innovations that you will pick up from Microsoft, integrate within your products, or create new offerings to your end customers? How do you decide that? How does that process work? And can you share any example that you've done the last couple of years from an innovation perspective?
So the us talking to our existing customers as well as the prospects tells me what they're looking for. And from that, using that as the starting point, we look at what technologies Microsoft has that we would like to use. For example, AI-based tools are becoming more commonly available on Microsoft platform. And those are the ones that we are trying to utilize into developing a new product that will help customer either do analytics or have some level of view into the past, how their distribution channel is working or not working. So to find the efficiencies, inefficiencies where they can improve. So this is something that is fairly like broad-based answer to what your specific question is, but it is more of a we are also learning by discussing with customers and prospects what would they like to see, and then use the Microsoft technologies to do that. One of the things is for inbound documentation, for that matter. We are trying to see what AI-based or machine learning technologies we can use to help the customers manage the inbound shipping documentation that's coming in. And that is something that has been, it's still in infancy, or like a little bit of on the pilot stage, but that's something that we work in the last 1 or 2 years, 1 year, to enhance or implement.
And so you've mentioned, I like that approach, and indeed it always starts with the customer signaling some pain points and then translating that into a solution. Today we see a lot of Copilots,
right?
Innovation coming from Microsoft, may it be on Copilot GitHub, Copilot Office, Copilot Studio. are you working today on any? If you want to mention that, Abhay, but can you share anything that you're working on, if that would be the case, from a Copilot perspective, or thoughts that you have on Copilot?
Yes, that idea is quite intriguing. Um, to have a co-pilot for the data that we have, and or co-pilot for any processes that we work with to improvise them or something. I cannot elaborate more, but there are areas that we are working to. We are trying to see what co-pilot can do for us, or the AI based tools that Microsoft already has.
Great, great. Going back to another word you mentioned, app source,
Mhm.
app source and marketplace. We're asking partners to publish on app source, but also on what we call the Azure marketplace, to make it transactable if it's available on the Azure marketplace, also future-wise on the app source. Can you share a bit on if you're how you're using AppSource today, if you see any benefits in using AppSource, if you see any leads or prospects coming from AppSource? Can you share a bit about that?
So we are published on AppSource, and that has given us some visibility, because it also kind of because we are transactable there, it's also validates us as a
You are
company.
transactable on AppSource.
Yes, we are.
Wow,
So
great.
that is, and we also want to put the same thing with Power Automate to make it transactable. So that's a work in progress. That would be another listing we would have. One of the things that I would like to have, I mean, there may or may not be an answer to that, is to how we can increase our visibility on app source, because their app source is full of a lot of solutions, and which is, is going to happen because Microsoft is so popular with Dynamics and other things, that the app source is full of it, because everybody wants to have a focus on them. But anything that can improve our visibility, it would be something that I would really like to have, see.
I hear you. And recently, Microsoft launched also CSP transactability via other partners. Is that something that you're looking at or already consuming or using?
Not yet, but I would definitely take a look at that and explore it, how we can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Well, the goal is indeed to make transactability possible through
Other
through your
partners,
partners that they
right?
transact your solution, to create less roadblocks to sell into your end customer.
Yeah.
Sorry, you want to say something, Abhay?
No, I'm
No,
sorry,
no,
because
sorry.
my accounting team would really love that they don't have to
I
create
can
that.
imagine. Now, another topic related to what you said, that you started like 20 plus years ago with Microsoft, working with GP, now today with all the other solutions.
Right.
Moving from an on-prem to an online world. What I've heard from many partners like SmartBOL is like, yeah, it's really it's a mind shift, going from on-prem to online, not only from a sales perspective, but also from a financial perspective. The known hockey stick better from a development perspective. Can you share a bit on like what are your top 3, 4, 5? What have been your top 3, 4, 5 challenges going from an on-prem to an online world?
So one of the challenges that customers always have is the security part. They say, like, how secure is my data? Or that is one big thing that they come up with. The second part is what is the downtime? What if you're down and then I can't do any shipments? That is the other I mean, these are all the risk they think about, which are valid risk. And if I'm the one, I would be looking at the same risk. Uh, so the way we mitigate that is, one is we are SOC 2 compliant, and we have the processes in place to check the security and privacy of our data. That is one. Second thing is about the availability. So we have the redundant zone and all that kind of stuff. So there is a huge redundancy built into our system, so that uh, it's not one server that's going to bring down everything. The other one that they sometimes have concern about is, I used to pay once and done with it. Now I have to pay it every month or every annum. But then, of course, the defense to that is that you're not maintaining those servers on prem anymore, and there is a cost associated with that which you don't have to have in the future.
Mhm.
Secondly, after COVID, everybody knows how important it is to have a distributor, or rather any
Mhm.
system that is available online, because there's so much of workforce that was working from home. So there's some advantages.
And that so security, paying monthly or yearly. But
Right.
did you see any challenges like internally, like people that had to change their mind, like, hey, it's not about selling a one-time deal and then like, hey, I have my year, but also developments, because before you could develop whatever you wanted and you didn't have to care about processing power or consumption. While now it's like, hey, your solution needs to be lean, needs to be upgradable very fast. Huh? We can't spend months between upgrades.
Right.
Can you talk a bit about that as well?
So one thing is, from the development point of view, it used to be 8 by 5. Now it is 24 by 7,
Yeah,
because you have to keep the platform running. So from the production support point of view, it's 24 by 7 instead of 8 by 5. That is one. Second thing that has also happened is, there is no upgrade as such in the cloud world. It's happening. There's no
true.
like a 2 year, 3 year upgrade. This is happening every month, 2 months. Whenever there is a new feature you want to roll out, you roll out. And that puts a challenge that you're changing a stable system every 2 months, or every now and then. So your testing has to be extremely robust. Otherwise, you can bring down the whole thing, and it
And
doesn't need any more proof than last week's incidents.
and does that also mean indirectly, Abe, that you also moved, open question, from a more of an SI model to today really an ISV model?
Yeah, so that is true. So that now we are more of a SaaS ISV provider,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
rather than something that we would cut on a CD and ship it out to somebody. Um, so that's been. I mean, it has been a change, but it has been changed from customers' point of view, from our point of view, our support point of view, sales point of view. A lot of things change, but this nevertheless is the future. And as customers, we are seeing that customers have hesitancy in the beginning. Those who were on our desktop, we had a lot of them convert into cloud. It's just a matter of them feeling comfortable. So we give them like a month trial, a 3-month trial, depending upon, and then they eventually they say, "Oh, this is good." It's basically what I tell them is like 25, 30 years back, you were hesitant to do banking on in the browser. Now you're doing that. That's the only
Correct.
way you do it. You're not looking at this monthly statement coming in the mailbox anymore. So I mean the physical mailbox, not the email box.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just matter of feeling comfortable. And
But that also means indirectly that the role of a salesperson or salespeople in your team changed, versus coming from like, hey, dear customer, what would you like? And we'll write down what you want and we'll develop it, versus, hey, this is it. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, we're not a good solution for you.
well, it happens. I mean, there's a balance that you have to keep, because when you have a multi-tenant, and there
Hmm.
is uh, things we have a long list of things that customers ask for, and some of them appear very generic, and then in that case we add them. Or if it is something very specific, then we have to decide
Extra
whether,
layer.
yeah, whether to do it or not do it, because otherwise you have this one-off feature that you're supporting forever.
Correct. And that brings me kind of, because you mentioned Power Automate, we haven't talked about, or I haven't asked about Power Apps. Are you using Power Apps in any way to create customizations for end customers, or are you doing customizations, if there are any, always in Business Central itself, or in your solution, and then attaching it to Business Central?
So far we have done it more into Business Central or our solution. We haven't looked into the Power App so much to do the customizations.
Clear. Okay. Now, time really flies, Abhay. We're 26 minutes into the call already. And you might have already answered this question a bit, but my last question is always, you as an ISV, as a Business Central ISV, or well, in addition to Business Central, you're relying on the success of Microsoft, on its partner network, on its innovation, on AppSource. Success of Microsoft is indirectly your success, and vice versa. To be clear, Abhay, your success is also our success, of course. But if there would be one thing that you could say or ask Microsoft that they could do better or change, that would benefit your business, but also other ISVs' business, what do you think? What would you ask Microsoft that you think, like, hey, this would really impact the success of my business positively?
So this is always something that is a generic question, but visibility of our solution to the Microsoft, to our potential customer, increasing that, like AppSource is one of them. Like, if there are any other channels, that would be interesting to push our product in front of more prospective customers. That is one. Second thing is anything that is related, because there's a lot of, as it goes with features, there you develop so many features, and many of them don't even make it because nobody really wants them. So there's a lot of R&D money that goes into adding more functionalities, and if Microsoft can make some of that available, that would be helpful.
Coming back to your first point around more visibility, are there any examples that you've seen with our co-opetition, our friends competition, that you think, like, hey, this is smarter, this is better, or this gives more visibility to us as an ISV?
No, I don't think so. I would like to be very clear that Microsoft Partner Program is probably the best out there. We have gone through, without naming other partners, and the support that we get from Microsoft Partner Network is very good, and the Microsoft support to the partner network, at least in our case, we have been very happy with that. Visibility is of course a something. Everybody kind of has the same model where you have the AppSource or a similar marketplace where you have the listed production listed. One of the things that some companies have, and Microsoft used to have it, I think, in the past, was the convention or trade show like that ended in 2017, I believe. I have attended a couple of them. That used to be a huge booth.
For Dynamics, or was it overall?
It used to be, yeah. It used to be Dynamics, Azure, as well as Office. All of that used to be there.
The partner conference?
I forgot. No, it used to be, even end users used to show up on that one.
There was WPC, the Worldwide Partner Conference, which was renamed into Inspire, I believe, and then it ended with COVID in 2020.
No, this was, I think the last one was in 2017. I forgot the
Really?
name
Okay.
of it. I maybe it was only US based, or I don't know, but there used to be a lot of end users also, in addition to
so it was a face-to-face event or in-person event, right?
Right. So there we get to, the visibility is immediate, because then you're right in front of the customers or prospective customers, and then you can have it. And we did present there twice.
Okay.
in 2016 and 2017, and I think 2018 they canceled that or something like that.
Okay.
One was in New Orleans, I think 2016, and the other one was in Atlanta in 2017, I believe. I'll maybe 1 year here and there.
Was it maybe the business applications?
Yeah, it used to be about business applications. If I look in my old
Yeah, I think
emails, I
so.
would
It
find
was
it.
like in April, March, April timeframe, I think.
Yes, that's correct. That's
I
March,
remember.
April.
I once went there. It was quite interesting indeed. Yeah.
Yes, and there used to be end users, partners,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I remember.
and there
Well,
used to be one musical event in that.
let's hope that one of the Microsoft executives listens to this recording. But I'm grabbing all the feedback that I'm getting away from the different episodes and bring that to our teams.
Because I see that.
Sorry,
To
go ahead.
cut you. Because I see that from other companies that they have events like that, like not exactly user group, but it's like
Mhm.
SAP has Sapphire,
Yeah,
Oracle has
correct.
something, I forgot the name. So that's essentially what I'm talking about.
And that will be my last question, I promise. What about directions, for instance? There's directions
Directions.
EMEA and directions North America.
Is that that's the one that I will look into it, but I'm not. I need to look more into it. I remember that there was
Of course,
some.
directions is only, well, between brackets,
It's only
only
for partners, I
Business
think, right?
Central and VP and partner focused. But of course, you find like all the partners of the Americas, you find all the partners of EMEA, and it's really it's a huge event supported by Microsoft.
Yeah.
And many partners are going there also to find new partnerships, to extend their partner network with new partners. Sometimes even in EMEA, we have partners out of Australia, out of Americas that are coming there just to see like, hey, how can we create a partnership in another region for our solution? So it's definitely something I would look into.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. Yeah, this is the one that was in San Diego in April.
Yeah,
This year.
indeed. Yeah, correct.
The one which I'm talking about was both end users as well as the actual users of Microsoft products and
There was a business
partners.
application event. Yes, I remember.
As soon as we get over this recording, I'll remember the name.
Okay, send it to me.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it.
But Abhay, well, 32 minutes, more than 32 minutes have passed. I want to thank you very, very much for joining this podcast. As every time, I've learned a lot. It's been very interesting to listen to you. I didn't know about that you're already 20 years partner of Microsoft. Thank you for that. If there's anything else that I can do in the future, please reach out. But thank you again very much for this call. It was really insightful. Thank you.
I'll definitely do that, and thank you very much for giving us the time, and that's very useful. And as I said, visibility is prime focus for me. This helps.
And this one helps, definitely. Thank you very much, Abhay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.